Mathieu Bodnar is a Tour de France stage winner for the first time of his career. His stage 20 time trial effort 1 second better than Michael Kwiatkowski. Overall leader Chris Froome comes in third, 6 seconds back, but the bigger story for the man in yellow, he will keep it. That lead that was 23 seconds before the stage is now 54 seconds with one stage, the Ride to Paris lacks. Paul Burmeister alongside Christian Vandevelde and Bob Roll. Big congratulations to Mathieu Bodnar, but the story today, Chris Froome is going to win 3 in a row and is 4th overall.
And this is what we've been alluding to for a number of days. The rivals to Chris Froome needed a much bigger advantage. Now he's almost a minute ahead of second place and 2 minutes 20 ahead of third. And because of his time trial and strength, the way you look at the whole Tour de France, he had a big advantage after the Alps, and he pressed that forward and now is even further in command of the race.
Yeah, it's not like these guys didn't know that. Bardet knew that. You could see him sweating the whole time. It was agonizing just watching him try to get to the line. Everyone knew, like you were saying, ever alluding to, Iran knew that he needed some time on him. He knew that he had a good time trialist, but not a great time trialist. Bardet knew he's definitely not a good time trialist. He thought he needed minutes, and it shows today.
Let's get a look at what Landa did. Again, he's 1 second behind Bardet right now for third place. So revisiting this as we watch what he did today, is this an unwritten rule etiquette kind of thing that he can't really go for?
No, the time trial, everybody's all in for their own glory. Landa finished 15th on the stage. That is really impressive for a rider that's been supporting the race leader throughout the Tour de France.
But for tomorrow, to go after that.
Tomorrow, I mean, all he has to be is in a breakaway and go for those bonus sprints. But of course, like Bob was saying, the AG2R is not just going to let him go up the road. I mean, watching Bardet, though, this was hard for us to watch up here. Romain Bardet was taking all sorts of undue risks throughout the corners, pedaling as much as he possibly could do. But he knew that he needed to do this throughout the entire race. This is the first chicane of the whole thing. Look at him almost going into the barriers here, just barely, just barely clipping. This is at the bottom of the hill. And even on the hill, Bobby looked like he was suffering pretty bad.
He's starting to come unglued here on the climb because he had gone so hard. Here's the closing couple of kilometers. Like you said, Christian, luckily he didn't have a rear view mirror. Look over his shoulder. Might have lost all hope.
It's a great shot because Froome started 2 minutes after Bardet did.
2 minutes, and that's advantage Chris Froome right there. Like we were saying before the show, Chris was going to have all the time checks of all the people racing against him throughout the day. That's really nice, especially when you hear that you're always constantly ahead of everyone who's trying to come and catch you. And then when you actually see the guy who's in second place right ahead of you, you just got a big old smile on your face the whole way to the finish line.
You told us this morning after you rode this route that, hey, that climb is no joke. You think he was feeling it more than he thought he would?
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm sure he was. He had to put in so much effort on the flats. And there's Froome. Wow, that's almost 2 minutes. That's incredible. But Froome, he didn't go as hard as he could have gone on the climb to save a little bit for the end and just make sure he got to the finish line a lot faster than his rivals. Bardet is about to get some good news here. You're still in third. Maybe didn't believe it till he heard it.
Chris Froome, I asked you guys before the race started if you thought he'd be more offensive or defensive based on the fact that he was already 23 seconds up. Looked to me like he rode, if not aggressive, he was at least he at least erred on that side.
Yeah, he was aggressive, but I really think he was still a bit reserved. Wouldn't you say about him? I think that if he really needed to, he could have probably taken that 6 seconds out of Bodnar to actually win the stage, but obviously didn't need to do that. He could see the person who's in second place for the last couple of kilometers right in front of him, so there's no reason for him to take undue risk. But like you said, on the climb, I really don't think he was at max by any means. I mean, okay, he was very close to it, but I don't think he was really completely over the limit. And those are the times when you start making those mistakes, especially on the downhills, when you are over the limit. And he didn't need to do that. He knew the time checks throughout the day. Probably Nico Portal, whoever's in the car behind him, telling him positive news throughout the day. First time split, only 2 seconds behind his teammate, Michael Kwiatkowski, so it was a perfect day for Chris Froome.
A day that ends with smiles and hugs and some relief because he knows what is now just only 1 day away. His lead goes from 23 seconds all the way to 54 as Chris Froome comes in third place. The winner, stage 20 for the first time of his Tour de France career, 32-year-old Mathieu Bodnar. Here's what he had to say after.
Actually, it's a fantastic performance. The disappointment of the other day when you finished just so close to victory, and today must be Must be fantastic to win a stage of the Tour de France.
Of course. I can't believe it still because last year was close, this year was even closer, and now I get this what I want. I'm really happy.
You gave everything you had on the course today to win here in the football stadium. It must be amazing.
This is, yeah, I was here already three hours waiting. It was amazing, really nice atmosphere here in the stadium. I can't believe it still.
Are you surprised to beat guys like Froome or specialists like Tony Martin, for example?
Yeah, of course. I was feeling good today, and then I was every minute waiting, and they show every rider, Kwiatkowski, of course, and then I was waiting for me because he's it's really good in time trial, but I get this.
Thank you very much.
And it didn't come easy. His winning time only 1 second better than Michael Kwiatkowski.
One of the early starters, a ways down in the overall standings. The rider starting in reverse GC order, but a very powerful ride without a lot of reference points. So I'm not sure if that was an advantage for Bodnar, but he most certainly pedaled as quickly as he could, gets to the line, had a pretty commanding time over Taylor Phinney, who had led since the early stages. And like Bodnar said, he's been there for about 3.5 hours.
And here's another guy who was behind on every time check until the last one. And that's really the only one you need to be ahead on. But Body doing a great ride, coming so close what he's alluding to in the past, especially this year when you think about getting caught, what was it, 300, 400 meters to the line. Very strong rider, showing his class here today.
A number of riders in a familiar spot there with that feeling for the first time. He's the 9th first-time stage winner of this year's Tour. Yellow jersey standings, Chris Froome was up 23. Now he's up 54 on Rigoberto Urán. And look at the drop for Romain Bardet, all the way down to third and just 1 second ahead of Mikel Landa. And Chris Froome knows he's a ride to Paris away from 3 Tour de France victories in a row and 4 overall. And a different feeling for Chris Froome, even though he's done this a number of times before in the 2017 Tour, but steps to the podium now with the confident knowledge that this Tour is his.
I'm not sure if he's more elated or relieved, and the toll taken on leading the race by such a small margin for so long.
I'm going on relief. For sure.
Could very well be just relief, just happy to get through the time trial safely with plenty of power to spare. And now the time gaps are much more closer than that we thought they would be at the start way back in Dusseldorf. Almost a minute to second and 2 minutes 20 seconds to Romain Bardet in third, and 2:21 to his own teammate Mikel Landa.
Christian kind of fitting in a way that he does it, wraps it up, clinches it basically on a time trial, because back in stage 1 of the time trial, he kind of opened eyes about how impressive he was in the rain that day.
Yeah, he came here to play, and that was apparent right from day one in the rain, taking a lot of risks. He knew that it was going to be a close race. We didn't think it was going to be as close as it was throughout the 20 stages that we saw. But like you said, Bob, he blew it wide open, and really wasn't even that long of a time trial, just showing you how dominant he is in this discipline, how much time and effort, expertise they put into the time trial. Position, aerodynamics, training, you name it. They cover all their bases with Team Sky. The only thing they had to do is wear the yellow jersey skin suit. That's the only thing that is going to slow him down here today.
Not a lot of suspense with who will be the winner after tomorrow's stage to Paris, but thinking about Team Sky, a little bit of suspense there for third place as his teammate Mikel Landa 1 second behind Bardet right now for third. A combination of relief and joy for Froome after the stage 20 time trial. Michael Matthews, green jersey podium. Marcel Kittel won 5 stages. Had the green, but Matthews was breathing down his neck.
Chris, I think we can say it now. You've won the Tour de France for the 4th time.
Matthews will do this again tomorrow. Nobody can catch him on points. Got a great chance for another stage win. Sunweb's had an absolutely phenomenal Tour de France so far. 2 jerseys, King of the Mountain and Green, and a number of stage wins. And maybe another one tomorrow. I believe that would be number 5 for Sunweb.
Yeah.
Michael Matthews owns the green jersey. A week ago yesterday, he was over 100 points behind in this race to Marcel Kittel. Got hot, winning individual sprint points and also winning stages. Running away with the green jersey standings there. And as Bob talked about, what a tour for Team Sunweb.
No doubt about that. Like you said, Bobby, they probably the favorites going into tomorrow. They have the hot hand. Michael Matthews has been flying. He took it easy out there today, joking for the cameras while he's out on the time trial bike. Edvald Boasson, another guy, though, I'm thinking he's maybe the hottest hand, so especially sprint-wise. See him coming to the line all by himself yesterday. And then Andre Greipel, of course, still with that elusive victory. He's been, since 2011, he's won one every year. Not this one. Actually, he's won a Grand Tour stage every year since 2008. If he doesn't do it here, that'd be a tough streak.
It's also been really impressive the way Sunweb as a team has raced.
Yeah.
And they've dominated some stages. We've not seen them do that in the past. Just the hope of getting that green jersey for Michael Matthews, putting Kittel in trouble on some of the smaller climbs.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a sprint points in the mountain stages. Very impressive riding. And Matthews, of course, is absolutely flying.
And on the same team, Team Sunweb, Warren Barguil.
And it's really cool to watch each of these champions working for each other for the green jersey and for the polka dot jersey. You saw Matthews going up the road, sprinting for polka dot jersey points to take away from Thomas de Hent and Roglic. And then you also saw this guy closing down gaps in the finals and coming into the sprints. Fantastic teamwork. And not just these guys, but everyone on the entire team all in for the leaders.